This is take 3 of bagel tier list here. Very important. So I was just looking online today and I saw some frankly insulting ranked lists of bagel flavors. And I just feel that it's my responsibility as an expert in this field of bagel toppings to make this list so that everybody knows what the real ranking is. It's not exhaustive, but that's because there are kinds of bagels that are just not worth putting down here because they're just uncommon. So let's just get it out of the way. All these different kinds, you can just see them here. I'm not going to list them all out. Okay, and I'll talk about them when I put them down. So let's just get into it. The first thing I'm going to do, pumpkin is F tier. Okay, that's garbage. Pumpkin is terrible. It's seasonal. It's because when you're making a bagel, you're going to put cream cheese on it. You're going to put cheese on it. You might put meat on it. You might put an egg on it in the morning. You might put sausage on it in the morning for breakfast. None of those things go well on a pumpkin bagel. It just tastes weird. It's like sweet. It's like a plain bagel with weird flavoring in it. Not a fan. Next up, cheese. Okay, cheese is E tier because it's not awful. It's hard to do. I mean, there's probably some good examples of cheese bagels being good out there, but it's basically just like old cheese that's just like crusted to my bagel, and then I'm gonna put cream cheese on there anyway. So it's just kind of weird, and it's just like, why would I want old cheese sitting on there? So that's E tier. So next up, why don't we do veggie and spinach? Veggie and spinach is also E tier, okay? Because it's veggie. It's like, what? What are you trying to do? It's a green, It's like trying to be healthy or something. It's like a spinach tortilla, except a spinach tortilla is fine because it still tastes like a tortilla. But when you have like this much bread, when it's that thick, you don't want it to be like tasting like you made a veggie bagel. Nobody wants that. Okay, so next up, why don't we do whole grain? Whole grain is C tier. Kind of goes in the middle there because actually no, it's not. It's D tier. Let's be honest. Okay, whole grain is D tier because it's whole grain. It's like eating 6 pieces of whole wheat bread at once. Who wants that? And the thing about it is, if you're eating a cheap bagel, whole grain might be a good option, because it's not going to be as sweet. Maybe it's going to be a grainier. But if you're getting a good bagel of any kind, you don't want it to be like grainy and and weedy and stuff like that. You don't want that. Okay, so that's D tier. It's not as bad as cheese or veggie or whatever this is, whatever happening with the green thing, but it's still low tier. Okay, and next up is plain. I think everybody kind of knows where to put that. Right in the middle. Plain bagels, they're not bad, but there's just nothing really going on there, right? I mean, have you ever seen a loaf of bread that just said plain on it and you're like, yeah, that's what I want. I want plain bread. No. Okay, plain bagels are not awful. They don't deserve low tier, but they're right in the middle. I don't think there's much I have to say about that. Next up, why don't we do onion? Okay, because onion's a bit of a challenging one. Okay, it goes in B tier. And here's the thing about onion. If it's crispy onion on top of the bagel, that's really good. That's high tier. But if it's like doughy bagels, that aren't really crispy and the onions are just sort of baked into the dough and they're sort of in there like you'd put raisins, it's just like weird. It's like sweeter than normal, and it's like if you go to the grocery store and you get onion bagels that aren't like bakery quality, it's not good. It's kind of weird. It's just like a little flecks of onion in there. It doesn't taste that good. So that's B tier because it could be really bad, it could be okay. It sort of depends. Next up, I think jalapeno cheese should also be in B tier. So here's the thing. Some of you are going to say cheese is down here in E tier, jalapeno cheese is up there in B tier. What's going on? Yes, the cheese component is still bad. It's still old, crusty cheese. But then they put jalapenos on there, and that's kind of hard to pass up. I mean, you're having a spicy bite in the morning, kind of wakes you up, kind of gets you going. There's some good elements to that. So, I think that jalapeno makes it B tier. It's not high tier, but it's up there. It's above average. I would buy those. Um, I think the next one I'm gonna do is cinnamon raisin is actually A tier. And here's why. This is the only sweet bagel that I would, go for. Like blueberry and all that, French toast, no. Okay, it's not even on the list. Those are bad. Cinnamon raisin though, it's like comfortable. It's like cinnamon raisin toast. Like everybody likes cinnamon raisin toast every once in a while, right? And this is one of those bagels that you can just put some butter on and just have, for like a light cinnamony flavor. Or you know what? I put cream cheese on a cinnamon raisin bagel, and it's still really good. So I think that one's pretty versatile. It's kind of a unique one, but you go to grandma's house and you get a cinnamon raisin bagel and you put some cream cheese on it. And, plain cream cheese, obviously. You don't want to be messing around with those like garden veggie ones. But it's good. It's familiar. The next one I'm going to do is actually going to be poppy seed. Poppy seed is also A tier. There's some people out there who might be saying, no, it's S tier, and you're wrong. And the reason why is because poppy seed is there's just so many of them. They get everywhere, and their flavor is almost like too much sometimes. It's like a little bit over the top. When you have some poppy seeds, it's one thing, but poppy seed bagels, there's just a lot of them. So I still think they're really good. Poppy seed flavor is awesome. I'll definitely eat a poppy seed bagel, but it's not quite S tier. We gotta have some standards. And that's because the last two left here are everything bagels goes in S tier. Okay, at everything bagels, it's because the onions on top are gonna be crispy. There's poppy seeds, there's sesame seeds. It's everything that's good about toppings is on there. It's a little bit of everything. It's like if you want kind of a blast of just all the great flavors, everything bagels is the way to go. It's just amazing. Okay, but it's not the best. The highest tier, I'm just gonna put it like on the top there, is sesame seed. Okay, it's the king of bagels. It's like S plus, because sesame seed bagels, it's there's something just really consistent about it. It's the reason they put sesame seeds on like hamburger buns. Same thing, right? Sesame seeds just taste really good when you toast them like that. They get toasty. They get really good. It's just the best topping, hands down. Cheap bagels, expensive bagels, sesame seeds are always going to be the best topping. So that's the tier list here. As you can see, you're gonna do this kind of stuff, pumpkin, you're gonna get at the bottom, right? But when you have these really consistent, savory flavors, top tier. So that's the official list. I don't think that it could get any better than this. People might be like, hey, what about this flavor? What about that flavor? Focus. But I mean, it's just because there's some bagels that are just not common enough. They just don't really show up. So I think this is like pumpernickel. Like, yeah, that's good, but it's just not common enough to find. So that's it.